A healthy relationship starts with you. You have to make a promise to yourself to be willing to change, and you and your partner have to make a commitment to each other to maintain the relationship, to never stop growing together. What's up, everybody? So today I'm actually off today. It's the day before Christmas weekend, so I thought it'd be a fun idea to do a chit-chat, get ready with me type of video where I talk about a couple things that I have on my mind that have just been popping up recently that I want to talk about while I get ready to run my errands. So I'm going to get my nails done today, do some grocery shopping at Trader Joe's, and then hopefully hit up a couple of my favorite thrift stores in the area. I really want to look for like a cute, like chunky sweater. I'm lacking in the sweater department, so I'm definitely looking for that. Hopefully I can find a couple pairs of maternity like leggings or pants because my belly's getting really big because I have about 3 weeks left until my due date. So the first thing I want to talk about is the third trimester and just my thoughts, feelings, and fears and what's been going on and how that's been feeling. So right now I'm currently 36 weeks pregnant, and technically the baby can be born anywhere from 37 weeks on to 42 weeks, I believe it is. I could actually like have the baby next week, technically. I don't feel like that's gonna happen, but it could. So that's really nerve-wracking, I guess. It's actually becoming more real. I don't know if other people feel like this when they're pregnant. The whole time I was pregnant, I couldn't comprehend I'm going to have a physical being eventually outside of my body that I get to like hang out and talk with. But now it's becoming like so real. I don't know how else to explain that. Definitely excited for that. Nervous also because I'm going to have to give birth. Trying to prepare for something that you've never gone through is one of the most difficult things ever. I'm just trusting all of these other women's experiences to help guide me onto what I should be doing or what worked for them. But realistically, your body and your experience is going to be so much different than anyone else's. We also went to our last ultrasound. So we had our last ultrasound last week, and I think in all the other ultrasounds, like, yeah, it was really cool to see them and stuff like that, but this one in particular, I actually got emotional. And I haven't gotten emotional. I'm the kind of person that when, like, I don't attach myself to circumstances that aren't in my reality, if that makes sense. So if there's an event coming up, I won't really get excited for that event until the day before or something like that. So that's kind of how I was moving through my entire pregnancy. Like, yeah, it was exciting and it was really fun and it was cool, and I knew that there was a life change happening, but I didn't have those strong emotions until last week. And it was really cool to see the 3D ultrasound because I could see their face. That really made my like maternal instinct kick in, and I was like, ugh. It's such a weird feeling of becoming a parent. I think I always knew that I was going to be a mom, and I've always been really good with children, but actually coming into that and growing into that truly is just the craziest feeling. And if I feel this way now, I can't imagine how I'm gonna feel when it's actually like here in my hands, in the halo. Like, it's just crazy. Where's my foundation? Here it is. So I wouldn't consider this necessarily a fear, but I think it's kind of just something I'm anticipating. It's just so crazy how our bodies have to change so many times through pregnancy. So my body changed once. It's changing for a second time because I'm getting a lot bigger now. And then it's going to change, well, 4 times, because then it's going to change a third time like postpartum. And then it's going to change again once it kind of like settles back into place. And it's so fast. That's the thing too. Your body has literally changed 4 times in the span of 10 months or a little under a year. I've just completely adjusted to this way, the way that I am now. I'm completely used to being a pregnant person. I have my outfits on lock. Like, I know what's gonna fit and what's gonna look good. I know what I'm gonna eat. I don't feel weird about not being able to drink when I go out anymore. Just like I've completely adjusted. So sometimes it feels like I'm gonna be this way forever. But like I said, it's becoming definitely a lot more real that there's going to be a little human in here that we get to hang out with and talk to, and that's gonna be really, really fun. And something else that I'm learning about myself is in this stage is that I have a hard time accepting and receiving help from other people. A part of that has to do with my love style. So your love style is basically a different way of describing your attachment style. Mine is control. So I feel like if I can control my outside environment, then I can control my internal environment, which is not true at all. Part of me not wanting help is because, or not being able to accept help is because I become out of the driver's seat, if that makes sense. I've known this about myself, but I think it's becoming much more evident because I actually physically can't do much. So the baby is flipped, the nurse said this, the baby is flipped sunny side up, which means if they were sitting here with me right now, they would be facing the same direction as me right now. Like we're facing the same way. And normally babies are supposed to be flipped the other way, like they're supposed to be flipped into you. If that makes sense, like we would be looking at each other, which means the larger part of their skull is pressing on my lower spine. So it's giving me really, really bad sciatica and it hurts. So that's really frustrating. And I'm definitely getting more accustomed to accepting and receiving the help. I'm growing a full-blown human. Okay, that's a lot of work. Okay, eyebrows. But fears, thoughts, feelings, fears. I don't think I have any like raging fears or huge fears. I think Logan and I are doing the best we can to prepare for the birth and for afterwards. I feel like we have all of the gear we're gonna need. We're getting everything ready to go on to the family leave. But I mean, I'm still a little bit, I don't want to say fearful, because I really have to monitor the thoughts that I allow into my head, because I'm having a natural birth at the birth center with no option for medication or epidural. So I really have to be careful with how I'm perceiving things. Like I was saying in the beginning, like it's just so hard to prepare yourself for something that you've never been through. Birth is 90% mental and 10% physical, so it's really like all up in your head. You gotta be really careful with whose stories you listen to or just the types of information that you're consuming, especially if you're gonna have natural birth. And also I am just kind of trying everything. I'm gonna try everything and anything I can and hope that it leads to a positive experience. Other than the actual birth, I don't think I'm really afraid of anything. But what I am really excited for is obviously to actually meet them. I'm excited to communicate with them. I'm a huge communicator and I'm excited to get to know them and know their personality. And it's actually super funny. My family were making bets on the weight and the weight and the date. That's what it is, the weight and the date. So we have, here, I'll show you. So we were out last night and we made a little list of everyone's little bets. So that's gonna be really fun. So I'm just excited for them to actually be here and get to be a part of our family. So right now, currently, my last ultrasound, they told me that the baby weighs currently 7 pounds. And like I said, I'm 36 weeks. So they can grow up to half a pound a week. So from 7 pounds today, they can grow up to half a pound a week. My due date is the 16th, but the last ultrasound put me at about the 14th based on their growth patterns and stuff like that. So what do you guys think? Here, let me show you. So this is my belly. Not really a good view. There you go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What you're guessing. Eyebrows are almost done. Oh, this window has such shifty lighting. So I'm filming in front of my bedroom window for 2 reasons. One is we have lovely wallpaper in there. It's gorgeous. The second part of that is right now we have the dogs sleeping in there. So I'll show you guys kind of what we have going on right now. So we put up a little baby gate, and this is where one of them sleeps in here with all their toys. And then at night we lay out another blanket over here for our other dog. Normally they sleep with us, but we're starting to train them for the incoming baby, the arrival of the baby, because they can't be in the room with us when the baby's sleeping in here. That's just dangerous. So the second thing I want to bring up is just how I've been noticing my relationship changing to my animals now that the baby is actually getting closer to being here. The babies are like, they're so helpless and small that if the dogs paw them or something, like that could... No, we're not having that. And also the same thing with the cats. The cats can't sleep in the room or even come in the room at all at night anymore, because cats like to cuddle and they like to sleep close to like warmer parts of your body. They could suffocate the baby, so we just have to be really mindful. We have 3 cats and 2 dogs, so we just have to be really mindful of the boundaries within the household to make sure that the baby stays safe. I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely an animal person. I obviously have 3 cats and 2 dogs. I've always been like an animal lover, and I feel like my animals have been kind of the main thing I care for or nurture. And I just feel that changing and definitely moving into a new phase of our relationship together as pets and pet owner, as companions. So I definitely notice myself being a little bit more strict with my dogs than I normally have been before. And the cats are gonna be pissed when they find out they can't come in the room anymore. They're gonna be scratching. Oh, it's gonna be awful. So if any of you have had a child and had pets and noticed a shift in your relationship, let me know how that went. All right, so I'm actually almost done with my makeup, and we're about to move on to the third topic that I want to talk about. But first, I'm going to change so I don't ruin my eyeliner. So I'll be right back. Okay, we are dressed. Just keep it real basic with the black turtleneck. And I don't know why, but hoops felt right today. I haven't worn hoops in a really long time. High-key, it's kind of hot today. It's freaking December 23rd, and it's freaking hot in Southern California. It's weird. So let's move on to the last topic, and eyeliner. I don't know if I'm going to be able to talk and do my eyeliner at the same time, so I might just do my eyeliner and then finish talking to you guys. We'll see if I can do it. The next and last thing I want to bring up that has been kind of just popping up in my life, or just in my field, I guess, is how I created and maintained a healthy relationship. So I get questions a lot from my friends asking for advice on relationships, and so I just kind of wanted to come on here and share that. I want to first start off by saying that what I have is definitely not perfect, and I've had my fair share of toxic relationships, which we're gonna talk about, because I feel like moving through those relationships is what brought me to what I currently have today with Logan. I think if I didn't go through all of the stuff that I went through, I really don't think that I would be able to be sitting here and feeling confident about sharing this information with you guys. Let's get into it. So my first relationship ever, well, I don't really want to count this because it was like in 8th grade, but I also do want to count it because that I feel like is where you're like really impressionable. Like those younger periods of time was where a lot of your beliefs around love and relationship is formed, is those first few relationships. So I guess I'll count them both. Well, I guess I'll count the one, my very, very first relationship, and then also my next relationship, my first relationship in high school. Both of those relationships I was serially cheated on. So, which means I was cheated on multiple times. And I mean, I'm a kid, like I didn't know any better, or I didn't know how to handle those types of situations confidently. And so that definitely wasn't emotionally damaging at all. I feel like that really effed me up and hurt me a lot. Sorry, eyeliner. And then my second long-term relationship. Ooh, this is nice. It's really thin. Ooh. Okay, and then my second relationship, long-term relationship, I would consider to be my karmic relationship. In my experience, karmic partnerships are there to like really shake up your world and put you on the path you're supposed to be on. So that was the most intense relationship I've had, but I learned the most from that relationship. And I feel like in that relationship, we've lived multiple lifetimes together, and we've always had this choice to choose between remaining in the toxicity and moving forward from it. And I think a lot of the times we have naturally defaulted to staying in the toxic relationship, but I think in this lifetime we came to an agreement, like we made a contractual agreement before we were on this earth, before we came onto this earth, to move from that, to experience a higher level of love. But we had to basically go through that relationship to be able to experience a higher level of love. And usually in karmic partnerships, it feels really comfortable. It feels like you've known each other like your whole lives. It feels like extremely intense. Like you get this like feeling in your chest and your stomach. It almost feels like anxiousness, but it's not. But it also is at the same time. It's just a very interesting feeling. So I had that relationship, and then after that one, I had another smaller length relationship where we just had, wow, it is really hard to talk and do eyeliner. Let me just finish this up. We had a really unequal power dynamic because that relationship was so hard to move through and heal from, and it was all bad. And so then after that, that's when I met Logan. So now Q and Logan, and we have been dating for this next May will be 5 years. And like I was saying, I'm not perfect. He's not perfect. I think a lot of people are under the impression that healthy relationships just happen or that they're easy. And I think that's because usually what people share is not the full extent of what goes on. And there's no way for us from the outside to know fully how something works on the inside, like inside of the home, or how they communicate with each other. And the way our society paints romance, it's an idealized version of love. And I don't really think that love is like that. And I definitely know from experience, at least in my experience, that healthy relationships don't just happen. They're hard work. And it takes consistency and dedication to maintaining healthy relationships. And just the way in that love is painted to us in TVs and movies is just completely honestly inaccurate. I think that it's possible to experience that type of moment, but I don't think that the entirety of the relationship feels that way. And at some point, love becomes a choice, not just a feeling. Let me say that again. Love becomes a choice, not just a feeling. I learned to stop chasing the feeling of love and instead to make a conscious choice to love my partner, Logan. So when I first started dating Logan, after all of those failed relationships, but I don't really want to say failed because I learned so much from every single one of them, I had to take a look at the patterns that I was creating. So I had to realize that I was part of the problem. And I think at some point you have to look at yourself and realize that you're part of the problem. Like, yeah, all of those other people might have done shitty things to you or hurt you. And I'm talking about regular, like, not regular, but like not abusive stuff. There's a difference between just a bad relationship and an abusive relationship. So I'm just talking about just regular old bad relationships. So that's where we at. Finish this up real quick. Like I was saying, of course, like those people did shitty things and we said shitty things to each other, but it's not a one-sided, relationships are not one-sided. It's a two-way street. So you had to have in some way been contributing to the failure of that relationship. And also, you attracted that. Like, you called that into your awareness. And so I took responsibility for my reality rather than victimizing myself over those failed relationships. And I just really started realizing my hand in it, because at the end of the day, you only have yourself. All of these other people don't matter. They're out of your life. They have nothing to do with you. So what's the point in blaming other people for your circumstances when all you have control over is yourself and how you react and respond to the things around you? So I made a commitment to myself based on my previous experiences to do things 100% differently than I had done them in my previous relationships, because obviously I was part of the problem. Obviously there was something that I wasn't seeing, that I was missing, that was contributing to the toxicity, that was contributing to the problems. And so when I started dating Logan, I made a commitment to do things 100% differently than I had done them in the past, which means I'll give you a real example. So since I was like serially cheated on when I was younger, I had really bad trust issues, like really fucking bad trust issues. So when my partner, like any of my previous boyfriends, like wouldn't call me for an extended amount of time, like I would flip out because I was scared. I was afraid of being cheated on again. So basically I was reacting to a trauma that I had. So I was responding from fear. In the past, I really wasn't able to vocalize where that was coming from. I just knew that I thought it was messed up that they weren't calling me. And so I would react on that trauma. So when I started dating Logan and that came up again, my first instinct was to like blow up his phone and freak out. But since I had made that commitment to do things 100% differently, instead I didn't do that, and I basically called him and explained that I was afraid that he was doing like something wrong. Even though I knew deep down he wasn't, that trauma was still coming up in my current reality because of what I had experienced in the past, and it was completely unhealed. So I had to really work on communicating that fear, and Logan helped by reciprocating kindness and understanding and validation. By the way, I'm ready, so we're just gonna talk and chat for the rest of this video. So the first part, I think, to creating the healthy relationship was diving into why I may have attracted those partners in the past and making a commitment to not react on my fears or traumas and to do things 100% differently than I had done them in the past. And I mean 100% differently, because obviously what I was doing before wasn't working. So I needed to make a conscious decision to change myself and to be more aware of myself and to be willing to see the parts of myself that weren't so pretty. And I know, at least this is how my world operates, if you don't learn the lessons now, they're gonna keep popping up in different scenarios. You can't expect to get different results if you're doing the same things over and over again. Like, you can't expect to get like more muscle mass in the gym if you're still eating like crappy foods. Why would you expect there to be a change in your outcome if you're not changing what you're doing to produce that outcome? Your subconscious and all of those traumas and fears, what they're doing is they're trying to keep you safe. So they're trying to keep you safe from getting hurt again. So sometimes that's blocking us from actually experiencing the love that we deeply actually need and desire, because we have a really effed up way in which we view love in the first place because of all the shit that's happened to us when we were kids, or because of the example that our parents gave to us, and on and on and on. Another thing that I did to create a healthy relationship is I didn't allow myself to become attached to him. And I feel like in my previous relationships, I would really identify with my partner. I just realized that's not healthy at all. I think I really made an effort to not be codependent on my partner. I didn't expect Logan to be my entire world. I expected him to be my partner. And I think a lot of people put a lot of pressure on their partners to be their entire world and their only world. I also accepted the fact that our relationship could end at any moment, and to be okay with it ending, to be okay with it not working out. So he doesn't belong to me, I don't belong to him. If he's not treating me properly, I can leave. Someone will treat me the way I want to be treated, and same for him. If I'm not treating him the way that he needs to be treated, he can leave, and that's okay. And it's just not gonna work out, and we tried it and it's okay. So I was just a lot more accepting of trying it out and just not becoming attached to the outcome and just growing through the process, because the right person will be willing to work on those things with you together. And I think that's how a healthy relationship is maintained. You first making a promise to yourself to be willing to look at the parts of yourself that are not so cute, that are wrapped up in trauma, that are coated with fear. Same with your partner. Your partner also has to be willing to be open-minded enough to see where they may be creating error. You guys both have to make promises with each other to never stop growing. And that's what I mean by healthy relationships are hard work. It's not hard work like, oh, we have so many responsibilities, although that is also true in some cases. But I mean hard work in the sense that it's hard internal work. Like, you constantly have to be willing to grow and learn with each other. You guys both have to be willing to continue digging and upgrading yourselves every single day. That's what I mean by love is a choice. At some point, it becomes a choice to continue to grow together. It becomes a choice to work on yourself. It becomes a choice to grow together. So it becomes more of a choice than it is a feeling. Alright guys, so I'm going to head to the thrift store now, and also to get my nails done, and then to Trader Joe's. Hopefully I didn't ramble too much. That was my first time ever doing something like that, so it was fun for me, so I hope it was fun for you guys. And if you want to stick around and see what I get at the thrift store, then let's go. So just for time purposes, I actually ended up making a part 2 to this video. It's going to be a little mini vlog of what I did that day. So if you want to come along for that, the video is going to be linked in the description bar down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.